All right, guys, how's it going? It is a beautiful day today, the weekend after 4th of July, but I'm actually happy to be home because I just got the best air pad for backpacking in the history of the earth. This is the 2023 NeoAir Xtherm NXT Max. And basically, the Xtherm, X-Lite, and Uberlite from Thermarest are the go-to air pads for all of backpacking. And this one is the best one. It's the widest one, and it's got a 70 denier nylon underneath. The material on the bottom of the air pad is 70 deniers thick, which is more than twice as thick than the other guys. The X-Lite and the Uberlite have got a thinner material on the bottom of the air pad. And so this one, it doesn't pop. You don't need to worry about this air pad popping. It's also warmer than the other air pads, and it's bigger and it's longer and wider. Unfortunately, it is heavier. But what I'm finding is that with Xtherm, with the Thermarest Xtherm, you need it to be wide because it's really bouncy. It's kind of made out of a funny, stretchy nylon bouncy castle kind of material. And the 20-inch wide, thinner version, you just bounce right off of it. And so I went on a hike this past weekend, the 4th of July weekend at Trinity Alps. And after that one hike, I realized I needed to replace the air pad. Thermarest doesn't allow exchanges, so I quickly sold that air pad in like 10 minutes on Facebook. Somebody bought it. I sent it to them with FedEx. I went on the REI website and I got this one sent to me like in 24 hours. So I got it like right away the next day. It all happened like super quickly. And I am excited, to get a hold of this version of the Thermarest air pad. REI does allow returns for up to 1 year, so I'm not as worried about it this time, and I'm pretty stoked. So I'm going to bust it open. And, for this video, actually what I found out about this product, the Xtherm, over the weekend was that it's like a bouncy castle. You really bounce off of it. So I might do some experiments to see just how bouncy this air pad is. I'm going to blow it up. I'm going to show you the pump that's used to blow up this air pad because it's got an incredible honeycomb reflectix architecture inside of the air pad that is super lofty. It takes tons of air to blow it up. You don't really want to blow your own breath into the air pad because your spittle could lay on the reflectix that's in there and kind of make it less pristine and less perfect. So in an effort to keep the product as perfect as possible, there's an electric pump that you can use to blow this up. It's called the Flex Tail, I think, and I've got it. And I'll also show you the extension that you need to blow up the air pad. Right away, this is the pump that you want to get. It's from China. It costs about 35 bucks. It's called the Flex Tail, and this is the extension that you want. It's the rubber band one, just like this. And the way that the pump works is you click it 2 times, and it starts blowing. One side blows out, the other side sucks in. So if you're blowing up the air pad, you want to put it on like this, and then you can feel the air blowing out. Okay, and then the opposite would be true if you want to deflate the air pad. The air pad is so lofty that you want to use this to deflate it also. It'll be much easier. And so you attach it right here with the rubber and you click it. And then you can feel the air blowing out, okay? It's also got an LED on here that I've never figured out how to turn on. And it's got a little handle, okay? And you twist it on and off like that, and it's got a little thingy. Yeah, I don't see how to turn the light on. Oh, there it is. Oh, okay. Okay, so now let me show you how this works. So the valve is pretty awesome. Right now, no air is escaping out of the air pad, so I can just take this off, and you see how the valve is loose, all right? Now I can close this valve, and I can switch it to deflate. So you turn this yellow handle, and now it will deflate, okay? All right? You twist it back, and then now, if you open up the valve, it doesn't deflate. And I can stick this back on there and blow it up a little more. Okay. All right. And if you want it to be really full, you can put your mouth on there and blow on it. Although the Thermarest, it has a tendency to be kind of comfortable with it slightly deflated. So this amount of inflation is probably great for sleeping on. It's probably pretty comfortable just the way it is right now. Overall, I think that Thermarest is a little bit narrow in their dimensions. I think that my long, wide, big Agnes axle that I had, it was a little bit wider than this. This is, overall, Thermarest air pads, they have a tendency to be slightly more narrow than what you might be used to from a different company. Also, I found that it's like really stretchy and bouncy. Now, yeah, I kind of felt it. Right when I sat on it, I felt it was kind of bouncy. My first impression of this air pad, the first time I ever held it in my hand, my palm got kind of hot, and I noticed that it does reflect body heat really well. But after becoming a little bit more familiar with the air pad, I found that it's super bouncy. So I'm actually going to do a few experiments and just bounce stuff off of here and just see how bouncy it is. All right, so I got a can of Coke here. Let's just see how bouncy this is. Yeah, I mean, you can see that it's bouncy. I mean, I could do more experiments with it, but it's bouncy. To me, you know, people say that this nylon is stretchy, but to me, it's just bouncy. And so with the 20-inch wide air pad, I found myself bouncing off. Plus, the edges are a little bit less lofty than the center. So when you get on it, the center is a little bit loftier than the edges, and it's bouncy. You kind of bounce to the edge and then slide off. Also, the bottom is pretty slippery also. And so as you slide off, it slides across the floor of your tent. If you've got a nice, slick tent floor, this thing will slide across your tent floor really easy. It's also bouncy, and your sleeping bag can like slide off the side, you know? So the thing is like bouncing and sliding like all over the place. Like, here, check this out. Yeah, I mean, you can clearly see there's some obvious bouncing going on here, all right? Okay, you see that? It's, as we say in NorCal, it's hella bouncy, okay? I really never have noticed that with any other air pad, okay? So, I mean, Thermarest is the best. These supposedly are the best go-to air pads for the entire backpacking hiker, long-distance hiker community. Obviously, you're always going to want a lighter air pad than a more heavy air pad. You know, the heavier the gear, the less usability it has because it's difficult to carry. I am using a hip belt when I go backpacking, and I'm carrying water the whole time, so I am doing a relatively heavy carry. I carry ultra lightweight gear with me, but I carry kind of a heavy pack because I'm always carrying water, and I sip on water as I go. So I'm not super concerned about the weight. What I am really concerned about is the usability. You know, The reason I wear a hip belt and drink water the whole hike is because that helps me get the hike completed. And there's certain gear that helps me finish my hike, and there's certain gear that kind of hinders my ability to finish the hike. I want gear that's not gonna pop. Like I want an air pad that's not gonna pop and that I can easily sleep on. And this is basically it. I mean, this one has got the 70 denier bottom that's not gonna pop. And it's easy and it's warm. I'm not gonna feel cold in the morning when I wake up. And it's wide enough that I'm able to sleep on it, okay? As far as the 3/4 torso and the normal mummy-sized air pads from Thermarest, whether it's the Uber Light, the X Light, or the Xtherm, they're a little bit too narrow. I wouldn't really waste my time trying to use it because it's kind of like too much of an issue. If I'm going sub-ultra lightweight for fun, if I were to go on a mission, on a hike where everything about it was ultra lightweight, I was just gonna go, embrace the suck and be as uncomfortable as I want to be and just sleep under a tarp. Yeah, in a situation like that, I might get a hold of the 3/4 torso Uber Light air pad since it's only 6 ounces, And I have from Z-Packs, I have a Hexamid tarp without the doors that's only like 6 ounces also, 4 to 6 ounces. So yeah, if I wanted to go sub-ultra lightweight, I could do that for fun. But in reality, I have a job and I only have a certain amount of time to go backpacking. I only get a few 3-day weekends a year. I just went on a big hike, 4th of July weekend. I went to the Trinity Alps, and that's the second time I've done it. And for me, that's a big hike. Trinity Alps are free. All you have to do is just drive there. It's a long drive, and it's a difficult hike, but it's an awesome place to go hiking. To me, I think it really looks kind of like Telluride in Colorado, but it's in Redding. It's in between Humboldt and Redding, and it's completely free. And so when I go on these hikes, I want it to go well. I don't want anything to go wrong. So I'm always looking for gear that's going to help me get my hike done, completed successfully. I don't want anything to go wrong. I don't want to bail out. I don't want to get sick. I don't want to get hurt. Nothing. I don't want anything to go wrong at all. So every time I've ever seen a YouTube video or a photograph of somebody who owned this air pad, the Thermarest Xtherm Max, they were always smiling and pointing at it and saying that they love it. The only air pad from Thermarest really that everybody says that they love is this one. It's the Xtherm Max, and so that's why I got it. I'm aware that it's a little bit heavier than the other guys. It's at least a half a pound heavier, if not a whole entire pound heavier than other air pads, but I'm just convinced that I need it, And also I might be going on some hikes where I only bring a tarp because I have a really awesome tarp called the Sierra Designs High Route 2 tarp, and it doesn't have a 10th floor. And I won't be bringing a 10th floor. I won't be bringing tieback, and I won't be bringing polycro. This will be my 10th floor. I'll just have the tarp over me, and I'll be hanging out on here, and that's it. It'll just be the mattress and the tarp, and I'll just be on the dirt, hanging out on this thing, and enjoying it. I'll be really comfortable, and I'll be having fun, and that's what I want to do.